Okay. So I'm doing a repair. This is a coworker's truck. I do have another door, but it's pretty much the same. I have to fix kind of this section to add a little bit of strength. See, the door handle fell off because the brackets rotted off, so I kind of made new brackets for here, and then one up here that has to be welded in. So pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna weld this up and clean it up. Then I'll have to look at doing some body work, I guess, on the door. See, the new door that I have has the same problem. Once you take the handle off, these brackets are rusty. It must be a thing, I'm not sure. This is a Ford, I think it's a 05 F150, it's all jacked up. So I'm just gonna weld these on right quick and hope for the best, I guess. Sometimes you gotta improvise. I put rockers on this thing. This thing's super, well, let's face it, she's pretty rotten. So I'm just trying to extend its life. Just for the girl, she wants it. She's pretty insistent on having it fixed. So I'm kind of doing that for her now. I'll see what I can do anyway. I'll put my helmet on. Hope for the best, dude. Take that off. First thing I'm gonna do is fix this. Kind of line it up. I think that's pretty, like, there's no metal in this thing at all, hardly, so I'm just gonna kind of weld it where it sticks, and that's gonna be it. So sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Just kind of tack it on for now. It's sticking pretty good, so I don't want to warp the door, but it's pretty damn good, I think. Kind of, I'm just looking for strength, so. Things are made out of such thin metal these days that it's kind of hard to weld to Kleenex, but you gotta do what you gotta do, like I say, you know. This should work. I mean, she only wants it to last another year or two, so I'm just gonna kind of, you know, see what I can do to help her a bit. Tack it in place. That's pretty good. Like I say, I'm gonna have to do the body work anyway on this door because it's kind of, like I say, I did the rockers, so I gotta do the paint under there. So this thing ain't gonna look good when it's done, but you just need to do what it has to do. That's pretty strong, you know. That's a heavy door, and I'm moving the whole thing by that bracket I just welded on. There's not much metal to this truck. Like, most of it's rotten. If I could show, like, kind of around it, you know. I was trying to get a couple of bikes in, but guys are being kind of chintzy. Things are hard in Canada here right now, as I'm sure they are everywhere, but you know, a lot of people now are just trying to keep their stuff on the road rather than paint their toys or whatever. So the fender is all janked up. All this is all shit. I'm not gonna fix this. This is just basically like a spot job. I had it in my mind to fix some of this, but I think that's gonna be like just as kind of an extra thing. But I kind of feel like if I go down that rabbit hole, I'm gonna regret it, because that's all holes. Anytime you see a bubble, it's generally a hole underneath. It's rusting from like the inside out, and that's just the paint, even though it sounds solid. Like that just pops, see? There's moisture in there. See, check that out. That's what I'm saying, like, you see the water coming out of that thing? So that's, I mean, I tried to talk this girl out of doing this, but that's kind of weird. But she's very insistent on having this thing done. So I can just do what she wanted me to do, and that's all. So I'm just gonna continue to weld up that. I might throw another couple of spots on there and make sure it's held on pretty good. You welders out there are probably cringing, but I'm only doing what I can do. The proper way to do this normally, when I'm not getting paid to do this, is to cut out the piece and then graft it all in. Like, that's probably a good 8 hours. You know, by the time I body work it, it's gonna be a good 6 to 8 hours worth. So I'm just gonna fill the holes, and like I say, it's only gonna be lasting another year or two, so I'm not gonna be too crazy. I'm doing it right. Big plane flying overhead. Yeah, so if you ever want to make a nice template, if you're doing like a bracket or something on anything, you just take a piece of Bristol board and you know, you kind of just do the outline in Bristol board, and then you transfer it over the metal. You cut it out as perfect as you can, and then just transfer it onto metal. Then that way there, you know, that way there it's going to be, you know, exactly how your template was on the Bristol board, which should be right. Took your time and did it right. This is the new door handle. So I'm just gonna check the holes, make sure they're right. You know, so it kind of goes in, I guess, this way. And that one goes there. Yeah, so It's pretty darn close. And if I gotta if it doesn't quite fit when I'm done, all you gotta do is just bore out these holes a little bit. Just take a hand drill and just bore them out a little bigger, because there's a washer on the end of the handles, so it'll take up the space if the hole's too big. But there you go. So that's correct. That's the right spacing. So I'm just gonna weld it in. Check it again. You don't want to get too cocky. What I'll do too is I'll run a bunch of grease like on the other side, all around the inside of this. And that'll just make the repair last longer, because you know, this thing's pretty much rusting from the inside out. If you don't wash your car or your truck, you know, and then you drive on kind of winter conditions, we don't get much snow here, but they do put salt down, and this thing has seen some mud, so pretty much mud and salt will rust your car quicker than anything, because mud will never dry, and if it's all packed up somewhere, it'll get wet. So once it's wet, it just starts to eat metal, you know what I mean? And then once it eats metal, then it's just like cancer. Once rust comes, it'll never stop eating. So you gotta kind of cut it out and take care of it as soon as you see a problem. Fix it. Take the time and fix it, because like a couple $100 just to fix something here will be a lot cheaper than trying to buy a whole new car, you know, to try to replace it. So. Throw a couple good welds in. That'll be that. Alright. So that's kind of how it's done in a nutshell. Now I gotta make another bracket for here. It kind of goes in this way, and it'll hold the back side of the door handle. So once it's in, it's in. Then I'm gonna try to plug weld here. I'll just get something for filler and fill it in with the metal, and then that'll be fine for now. All right.